Yo. Steph, what's been up, my guy? What's going on, everybody? Just waiting on Draper to get back in there so we can finish our talk. Sweets by Celine. What kind of sweets do you have? I got a sweet tooth, seriously. So what do you? As a matter of fact, what do you specialize in so we can pub you? Another black-owned business. We can pub you. Put it down in there. So Steph, what do you think? What are you thinking about this whole Kyrie situation?
That's a cut.
Bruh.
That's a cut.
I had to get on my Jamaican vibe real quick. Kyrie just makes me shake my head. He's confusing. He's like a big ass kid. That's what he is.
I told somebody that the other day. I was like, man, Kyrie is different mentally. Like mentally, I love to watch the dude play, but mentally, like he's different. He's different.
Very different.
He's different.
But he acts a lot of the time. Kyrie acts like a kid that doesn't get picked up, and so he takes his ball and goes home.
He does. Yeah, he does.
It happened in Cleveland. Where they almost put your name in trade talks because let's be serious. You were injured. You were injury riddled. Then you threatened to have the surgery. You want to get out of Cleveland, so they trade you to Boston. They do you a solid. Instead of trade you to Phoenix or somewhere, they sent you to Boston.
Yep.
It's supposed to be your team now. You're supposed to take over everything else like that. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown was like, no, nigga, no, no. And what do? You pick your ball up. And you go home. Now you're in Brooklyn. The season wasn't going the way you thought it would. Which everybody was talking about, like even with you at the helm, this is a down year. They just waiting on KD to get back. That's it.
Has Kyrie played a full season? Played a full season in Brooklyn yet?
No, this is his first year there. So no. He didn't play a full season. He didn't play a full season in Boston.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think he played. He didn't play a full season when LeBron came back. He's had injuries. And for him to want his own team, for Kyrie to come out,
having and wanting his own team and doing the things that he's saying that he wants to do. Um, this is a pivotal point for Kyrie to show that he can handle having his own team. He can handle doing those things that are impactful on and off the court. Because you think about it, LeBron, KD, Curry, all those guys, man, all those guys that are truly the dude on their team, man, they do X number of things off the floor.
Okay. Let me just ask you this. Let me ask you this. Is Steph really that dude to lead a team
Okay,
by himself? Because I
okay,
mean, one could argue, and I've said this many times. Klay Thompson is the most important piece on that team.
absolutely,
Like
absolutely.
without Klay, it doesn't go. Period.
No, 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 no. Without Klay, Curry can't put up those shots that he puts up. He can't.
And
He can't.
it's like I said, with as far as Steph goes, last year's NBA Finals told the tale. Toronto put a boxing one on him, bro.
Hmm.
A high school defense, and he
Yeah,
couldn't score. He couldn't score.
yeah. Because he had to. He had to. Because Klay was hurt, so he had to do. He had to make up that extra 20 points that Klay was giving him. You know, and so if you think about it, he's not LeBron at a 6'9" that is going to demand a bunch of attention. You know, he's not a KD that's 7 foot that can shoot over top of you. Even on a double team. I mean, even if you try to block KD's shot, you raise with KD. KD's going to keep going. He's 7 foot. You
You're
know,
not a Giannis who's bam bam. You
not a
just you,
Giannis,
you just
right?
you just run everybody over. Like excuse me,
Excuse me, excuse me,
excuse me.
excuse me, excuse me, and then go dunk it. So he doesn't demand that much attention. Now he's the face of Golden State.
Yeah,
Okay. So hence why I said the dude, he's the face. But as far as if you take Steph off Golden State and you drop Steph hell anywhere, you'll get the same individual results, but you will not get the dynasty.
no,
By no means. I wouldn't build a team around Steph. No
no.
disrespect, no disrespect to him. Great scorer, great guy. I wouldn't build a team around it. But would he be a strong number two? Hell yeah.
Of course,
Hell yeah. Could he be
of
a
course.
strong number two? Hell yeah. Like if he was to be put with Milwaukee, right? That's a tough duo. You got Giannis and you got Steph. You got an truly inside presence, and you got that outside presence. You got everything pretty much covered, right? That's a tough duo to play against. But he
Yeah,
would be my number two, though. He wouldn't be my
he's
number
not.
one.
He's not, and that's why. Like, I mean, we can go. Look, we can dive into that all day. He's benefited from. He's benefited from. Oh my God,
Man, Mark Jackson, yeah, Mark Jackson put a hell of a team together
he
in
did.
Golden State. So, he put a hell of a team together in Golden State. And to have, for one, to have Klay Thompson, right? One of the purest shooters that's going to ever be in the league. I mean, hands down, one of the purest
Lord,
shooters that I've ever seen. Pure, I
you
mean,
score when you score 60 points and only took 5 dribbles
that, the entire game.
the entire game.
The entire game.
Five, five
Five.
dribbles.
Yeah. Hell yeah, Steph. We got to put some respect on Mark Jackson's name. We got to.
Yeah.
Like you got to give that man credit for that. You know. So he had Klay, right?
Hmm.
You had a garbage man in Draymond who knew his role, right? I'm a defense, make this extra pass. I'm gonna knock down a shot when I need to, but set these football screens and go from there, you know. So then you had in the middle, you had shit. Who was in the middle at the time? Man, it was some crazy dude name.
Yeah, Zaza Pacheco.
Zaza Pacheco,
You had
JaVale McGee was there at one point.
Andrew Bogut.
Andrew Bogut. So you had just anybody kind of in the middle, right? You had just anybody kind of in the middle. And then, but you had coming off the bench was Sean Livingston, who was a 6'9" point guard.
Yep.
Like a 6'9" point guard.
You had Barbosa.
Barbosa coming off the bench. You had David West that was coming off the bench.
Harrison Barnes at one point.
That's what I'm saying. So you got, and at one point, at those guys, you got 9 guys that have been starters at one point.
Yeah.
That have been starters, that were starting for high major teams, for playoff teams that were starting. And now these dudes are coming off the bench.
Yeah. Not to include, you had Matt Barnes 1 year. You had the whole list of them.
You know, so he's been very fortunate to have some really, really great teams around him. And I mean, KD coming, that's a hands down. When that happened, everybody was kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's almost like it don't count. It's almost like it don't count. You know, you got one of the greatest scorers at his size to jump on the team like that. So you mean to tell me you got Steph in the middle, Clay on one side, KD on the other side?
That's why I said. And people like, oh my God, KD is it. Now KD is a bad boy. Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out Longhorn. Shout out.
Yeah.
He's a bad boy. But if you know basketball, with those he had, matter of fact, arguably, those 3 are top 5, top 6 all time as far as shooters. Those
Absolutely.
3.
Absolutely.
Which means that you can't double, you can't help off of anybody.
Nope.
Which makes KD even deadlier because KD is a one-on-one player.
Hands down.
He's a one-on-one player, and he's 7 foot. If you come help, he's kicking the ball to Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. That's damn near automatic. It's automatic.
Automatic. Yep. And even if he kicks it to Draymond gonna want extra pass that thing.
Oh my God.
He gonna want extra pass that thing. You know, he's smart enough to catch that thing.
Or Draymond's gonna kick somebody in the nuts and get somebody open.
Get somebody something. They gonna get open if Draymond is setting the screens. They gonna get open. Hands down.
Hands down.
So I mean, he's been fortunate. Like I said, I think I may have said it wrong. He's probably the face of Golden State, and he probably has some pull in the NBA because of what he's done with the game. But you know, I don't think that he's a guy that I would build my team around. Hell, to be honest, I wouldn't have built my team around Kyrie.
Oh no, you can't.
I wouldn't have built my team around Kyrie.
And see, people forget before I get to Kyrie, Golden State not slick what they did this year, and sitting Steph out the entire year.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want to expose Steph because they know that Steph can't carry a team by himself.
I forgot who I told that to. I said y'all not peeping the real. I said they sat Steph because Steph gonna get exposed.
Yeah.
Because Steph had to carry the team. And they saw what happened last year when Clay was out, that Steph can't do this. So how do we
that was the perfect role. Exactly. That was a perfect Steph. I was about to get that was a perfect role. And people are not looking at everybody's talking about, oh my God, Kyrie could lead a team, this, that, the other. There was one telling stat in Cleveland. When LeBron took his rest days, which was about 5 games a season, 5 to 8 games a season, Cleveland went 0-8.
Mm-hmm.
They went 0-8. They didn't win. When Kyrie was the helm, when he was the leader, it was his night. Shoot the ball 50 times a game if you want to. Willis to a victory, whatever. They were 0-8
That is correct.
with Kyrie at the helm.
That is
Look what
correct.
happened. Look what happened in Boston. Look what happened in Boston. Jason Tatum without him was one game or one quarter away from getting to the finals. Get to the finals. He comes back the next year. They basically that was a gentleman's sweep. First round.
It was, listen.
Milwaukee was like, we need to practice. We need to practice.
But everybody said that at that time when Kyrie was out, even though the Celtics did not get to the playoffs at that time, they were figuring it out because they were all young. At that time, they were all young. They were all young. Brown, Tatum, Smart, they were all young. So they were figuring it out, and they were figuring out how to play together. There wasn't just one dude, one ball dominant guy like Kyrie is. No, don't get me wrong. I love watching Kyrie play. I love watching him play as a highlight tape because hell, we used to be fans of the and one tapes, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So watching Kyrie play, you know, it's fun to watch. But in the long run, when you get to winning and getting down to that playoff time, that final time, man, them dudes at Boston, they were figuring it out. They were a better team without him.
And this is what LeBron said after Kyrie got traded and left in that press conference. LeBron said, I was grooming the kid. I was grooming him to basically I was handing over the keys to him. Hand over the keys. Look, it's your vehicle. Do what you. And matter of fact, while Kyrie was there, his usage rate was so much higher than LeBron's.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, LeBron still led the team in scoring, rebound, assist. Hold on, LeBron basically told him, hey, here, shoot as many times you want, dribble all over whatever. I'm still gonna get mine.
No, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
No.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, I got it.
So
I'll do me. You just get yours.
So, which I'm waiting to see what happens once KD comes back.
It's gonna be interesting.
It's
gonna be interesting because they haven't played together yet, have they?
No. Is KD gonna look at this like another Westbrook situation?
I think it'd be worse because Kyrie is even more ball dominant than Westbrook is.
He is.
Yeah, I'm talking. He's gonna sit there for 10 dribbles, you know, before he take off. Westbrook might have shot a bunch of shots, but Kyrie gonna sit there and
Kyrie gonna pat that thing. He gonna pat that
thing. Hey, he gonna put that thing in there. You know what I'm saying? He gonna pound the air out of it. So I think it's gonna be, a little harder for them guys to play together. You know, because for that situation, I don't think it's enough ball to go around.
Because
for KD and Kyrie, I don't think it's enough ball to go around.
And look, let's keep it honest. Dinwiddie and LeVert ain't no punks.
No, they're not.
Ain't no punks.
They're not.
Like Brooklyn is stacked. Brooklyn got a stacked team.
They are, and they're young dudes too.
Yeah. So for matter of fact, and I said, look, he's gonna find himself back in that Boston situation.
And that's the thing, and because and to be honest, it's really flowing right back to how the Boston situation is, because he's now again back with a bunch of young dudes, right?
Yep.
That have been figuring it out and give them over time and playing together. And now you bring him in, who has to have the ball, right? And the thing is, he makes passes, but he's not really. He's shoot first.
Yeah, he is.
He shoot first. And so those dudes, they're not just gonna be just getting out the way and being okay with that. They just not. I don't see those dudes doing it.
Look, some of them gonna come up in contract year. Hey, I gotta get these shots up.
I gotta get these shots up. I gotta
get this check.
You know, and KD done got his championship. He cool. He good. You know, So now he like, yo, I'm just trying to get buckets. Let me get this. He knows he can't win a championship up in Brooklyn. He knows that. He
Hey,
will never
look,
win a championship up in Brooklyn.
KD has a lot. He has a lot to prove when he comes back. A lot.
What does he have to prove?
Is first off, everybody was saying they don't count the rings in Golden State
Correct.
because I mean obviously, but in order to be considered one of the all-time greats and on that pantheon, you have to lead a team yourself.
He's never done that.
That's what I'm saying. That to me, that was the reason why he went to Brooklyn. Because even though he won, he was not getting praised like he thought he was, like he thought he would.
Well, he was catching all that slack for even going in the first place.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I don't know what he thought was. I get the whole, I can do what I want to do. I can go where I want to go. I want to win. Cool. But,
Mhm.
it's different when you go to, let's say, the New York Knicks and you go take them to the championship. But my guy, you went to Golden State, who was just fresh off of some championships. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to go to Golden State. To who? You finna go to who?
The team that just won 73,
They just
73 games.
they just won 73 games.
They just they just won the title and lost in Game 7 and won. You going to them? Huh? Huh?
Cool.
Them? Okay.
All
All
right.
right.
Yeah. So I don't nobody counts that. No, Steph says 73-9 to be exact. to be exact.
Yeah.
So nobody counts that because he went there and on those pretenses, everybody knew that he was going to win that championship. So it doesn't count.
You playing? Look,
He couldn't finish in OKC with James Harden and Westbrook
and Ibaka.
and Ibaka. And Steven Adams ain't no punk in that middle. So
He not.
you mean to tell me that with those guys, just those three right there, that y'all couldn't do it, regardless of who was shooting what or who was doing what? Man, you mean to tell me you couldn't? That was his chance. That
Listen,
was Westbrook's chance too. That was all their
listen,
chance.
listen. You had that Golden State team down 3-1. All you had to do was win one game.
That's it.
Now, to me, if you're the baddest man on the planet, this and the other, one game.
One game.
One game. That's all you need.
One game.
Now, Clay showed you what what it's about.
Yeah.
He showed you what it's about. In your house, that's it, like this series. But hey, all the blame went to Westbrook, and then he left.
Which from Westbrook's standpoint, I understand why Westbrook was mad. Hell, I'll be mad too. You blaming me for me playing, doing what I had been doing to get us to this situation, and you get mad at me or saying that it was because of me, I'm taking too many shots or whatever like that. It's like it's like a girl that you had sex with on the first night and she get mad at you. Like, you knew this when you met me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You knew who I was. You knew what we was walking into. You know what I mean? It's like that. Like, you
knew why
who I was.
you knew why you got flued out.
You know. You knew why you flued out. You knew. I didn't just flued you out for no reason.
For no reason at all.
For no reason at all. So for KD to get mad and then for him to even leave like that, man, I think it's a punk move. I think it's a punk move. It's a B. Simone move. He pulled a B. Simone. He B. Simone. He did. That's the new thing. He B. Simone.
Now I want to ask you this. I'm going to ask you this. Speaking of like people changing teams or whatnot. So obviously we know what the Clippers have.
Hmm.
Um, I kind of got a feeling. I kind of got a feeling that Paul George is gonna get traded
Hmm.
next season
I can see that.
because right before COVID hit and they shut everything down, there was a little rumbling going around saying like, everybody wasn't happy in that locker room. There was no continuity. People weren't playing, people weren't
Hmm.
practicing. But what it really comes down to is between Paul George and Kawhi, pretty much. And Kawhi's gonna do what he wants to do.
Yes.
Period.
And so with that whole situation, I think I think when you have guys like that, not everybody can truly play a Batman Robin role, regardless of how good you are or whoever it is. You know, some guys don't have it in them to be a Batman Robin guy. Everybody knew when Kawhi got to the Clippers, it was going to be his team, regardless
Hmm.
of because he was fresh coming off the championship, playing well. It was his team in Toronto. He took those dudes, won the world championship, and went to LA. Well, you know, Paul hadn't done that. Paul hadn't done that. He's led some teams. Don't get me
Paul is
wrong.
only hold on. Paul has only been out of first and second round one time.
He's led some teams,
Yeah.
but he hasn't reached there. Now, regardless of the path that Kawhi got there, you can say, oh, they wasn't playing a healthy team and all that stuff like that. But to get to the finals and win it, man, it's not hard. That's not easy to do.
No, it's not easy
It's
at
not
all.
easy to do. But for Kawhi to come, take that team over, make it his, and win, man, that kind of put him at a whole nother level that I don't think Paul George was going to be able to do. And I don't think Paul George is ready to take a back seat to anybody.
Nah.
I don't think he's ready for that. So I can see wholeheartedly why they're thinking about trading him. He's not ready to be, you know, back Robin to somebody. That's not Paul George. Paul George
And
has never played Robin to anybody.
no, and I think as far as they go, it makes more sense. It makes more sense to trade Paul George and get some other pieces
Hmm.
because to me, Lou Williams is your second piece.
Oh man, let's not forget about Funky Lou. Oh man, let's not forget about Funky Lou. Man, a lot of people don't realize how good that dude is,
Oh
man.
my God.
A lot of people don't
He's
realize how good that dude is.
he's a walking bucket.
Yeah, man, that dude is good. That dude is good, man. He the only one to have two girlfriends publicly that I've ever. He the only one to ever have two girlfriends publicly, but
Yeah. He
but that
look, he
dude
was
is
so
good.
he was so cool with it too. He was like, yeah, well, it it worked for a while. One got upset, and now it's just me. Look, now it's just me and
That's just me, and,
she didn't like it. She had to do what she had to do. That's a look.
Oh,
We're gonna pin that conversation
we
because
got to
look,
pin that one.
we have to dive into that one.
We
Like
got to. Yeah, we got to
so,
dive into that one. Yeah, that was that's a whole other topic that we could take and go a whole bunch of different places with.
oh
But
my
yeah,
God.
yeah, man. I like Paul George. I love his game. I love his game. But would you build a team around him?
Mm, I would, but it's almost like it would have to be that Iverson situation
Hmm.
where like it has to be the right. like the right pieces. Basically, like Indiana, he had the right pieces around him.
Yeah.
He had the right pieces around him. You had a bona fide center in Hibbert who fell out all the way off the map.
Whew.
You had
Ah.
Lance blowing your ear Stevens.
Who's over in China now?
Yeah. I mean, you had oh my God, I forgot the little point guard.
Teague?
Huh?
Was it Jeff Teague?
You had Teague let on, but it's like matter of fact, he's in Milwaukee now.
Uh, Dang, what's his name? Ah,
I know, but you had him, and then you had a couple other pieces like around you
yeah,
that basically was tailor made for your style.
correct.
Him going to to the Clippers. I mean, eh,
Right.
it's like you know what I equate the Clippers to. I equate the Clippers to Golden State. They know in order to beat, and still look, Steph, I hate this. In order to beat that man across the hallway,
Mm-hmm.
you got to stack as much talent, as many pieces as you can.
Come with it, Steph. I'm just waiting to hear what you got to say. I'm just waiting to hear what you got to say, Steph. Yeah, you do. You for right now, okay, right now, and I'm talking about right now in today's game. Right now, LeBron, right now, is the greatest player in the world.
Yeah.
Right now, greatest player in the world right now. And if you really want to beat him, and the way that he's playing, and the way that his team is playing, like he got those dudes running. He got those dudes running. If we're not talking about Mike. Hey, Steph, notice I said in the world right now. I said
Listen,
right now. I said
listen,
right now is where I
listen,
said he's the greatest in the world right
listen.
now.
Yeah, look, and hold on. And Jordan was the greatest in the world in the '90s. Hey, it is what it is. It's what it is. Kareem was the best in the world in the '70s. Magic and Bird were the best in the world in the '80s.
In the 80s.
We ain't going back to Bill Russell was the best in his day. That's why I
So
said it. That's
hold
what.
on. We gave 70s, 80s, 90s, right?
Talking about the 2000s kind of tricky. That's Shaq. That's Shaq.
Really?
That's Shaq.
The greatest player of that decade was Shaq?
Yes. Who? I mean, of course, people want to put Kobe. People want to put Kobe, but Kobe really, as great as he is, Kobe was in that in between. He's in between because okay, LeBron has been the best. LeBron has been the best in the world for what 10 years, right? Which goes into 10 years that goes into Kobe. That goes into Kobe's reign.
See,
Then you look. Then, like I said, you got Shaq in that mix. You got Tim Duncan in that mix. I'm saying it's a look. He's in that in between. It's not taking away. It's not taking away from it. It's not taking away from his greatness. It's not. It's not taking away from it.
It's so
at
hard
all.
for me not to say. I really want to say Kobe. I really want to say Kobe. I really want to say, and I agree with Steph. I really do. I want to say Kobe, and I want to say that Kobe has it for the 2000s. But gosh, man, you say Tim Duncan, you say Shaq. That's
Because okay, look, if we look at it, we're trying to say the 2000s, but for the first 3 or 4 years of those 2000s, Shaq was the head of that team.
He was
Shaq was the most dominant. Shaq was the one winning MVPs, all this other stuff. Kobe didn't win his MVP until
their third.
no. Kobe didn't win his MVP until damn near what? It was like 2009
Probably.
because it was after Boston beat them.
Yeah.
So yes,
Ah,
yeah.
man, I really want to say Kobe. I really want to give it to Kobe. Not just because he's gone, but I really just, Kobe, I feel bad for Kobe because Kobe almost has nowhere to be placed.
Says
His
Shaw. Shaw
he's
has one. Shaq has one MVP. Yes, Shaq has one MVP. But Shaq was also unanimously winning those finals MVPs of those three-peats. Shaq was leading them in all the categories in those three-peats.
yeah, and I just
Shaq,
where do you place him though? Where do you place Kobe? It's just so hard to place him because that you just don't know where to.
unless unless you put unless you put Kobe like we do in the '80s and we put Magic and Bird together.
Yeah,
You
that's
can
right.
put
He got to be Cole the greatest of all time.
look. He was 7 years in. Kobe was a pup.
He
Okay,
was.
if he was 7 years in doing that, do you put him in the same tender as LeBron? Because LeBron has been the best in the world for 10 years now.
Ooh, God.
LeBron has been the best in the. No, matter of fact, a lot of people put LeBron as the best in the world for like 12 to
They
13 years.
Yeah. How long LeBron been in the league?
This is his 17th year.
17th year. They started deeming him the greatest. I want to say like year 3 or 4.
Yes.
I want to say like year 3 or 4. They started deeming LeBron the greatest of all time when he got close. He was in Cleveland and he got close to winning the championship, I want to say. And
So
they started
so
deeming
after
him the
two
greatest then.
after 2007 when he took Booby Gibson and
Booby Gibson now. He took Booby now. He took Booby
he took
now.
Booby now.
He
Took
took
Booby
Booby
now.
now. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like Kobe, he was in that as great as he is, and he is one of the greatest. He is one of the greatest of all time. He's in that in between stage though. He's in that in between because,
Golly.
like you said, because he came. Kobe, no, Kobe came into the league. Kobe came into the league in '96,
Mm-hmm.
which means that, and he sat first couple years.
He did.
Sat first couple years. So okay, so 7 years in. So 7 years in is when they, the three peats, which means that he's 5 years in as a starter and being the second on that team. So after Shaq leaves, which is what 2004,
Yes.
2004, Kobe didn't turn into the Black Mamba until 2000 what six
6 or 7.
2006 or seven. So that's another 3 years that he's just there. Now, mind you, Shaq is in Miami now. They won a title,
Mm-hmm.
'04. You got Duncan that's still winning titles and MVPs. He's up there. That's what I'm saying. Like you got Steve Nash winning 2 MVPs in Phoenix,
He
and them
did.
doing what they doing.
Golly, forgot about little Nashy.
So and then like I said, then you have KG and Paul Pierce and them in Boston. That's You still got Dwight Howard and Rashard Lewis in them in Orlando, which Kobe beat that first time after, you know. But what stint will we say that Kobe has to himself? Because if LeBron has been the best in the world for 10, 12 years, now we're talking from at least 2008 to now. LeBron has been the best in the world. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's if we're going if we're going by the numbers and and what they're where they're putting it and what they're saying, what do we put him as far as like Kobe like ruling an era? What do we put him?
I wish I knew. I don't have a place for Kobe. Not to be put where it's solely him. You know, that was
Yeah,
the thing. The dudes that we've named, it's been solely theirs. Like LeBron has right now to when he started, and then you got um uh who we said in the '90s. We had Jordan. You
Jordan.
got Jordan in the '90s. You got Wilt and them in the '80s. Russell and them in the '70s. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the '80s. You know, you got those guys that solely, if you mention those years, you're gonna get one of those guys' names. You know, for each era, you're gonna get one of those guys' names right off the bat, right off the
Yeah,
jump. You know, right off the rip, you're gonna get Jordan
and
or so whoever.
I'll say it's not taking anything away from Kobe because Tim Duncan doesn't have an era by himself.
He doesn't.
Shaq doesn't have an era by himself.
Mm-mm.
Kobe doesn't either. And it goes on. It goes on. Look, David Robinson doesn't.
God,
Olajuwon
Olajuwon. I was
doesn't.
just thinking about Olajuwon.
Yeah,
Olajuwon, Drexler. Those guys,
Drexler.
they don't have a by themselves.
You
Where
wouldn't
they're the
even
dominant guy.
you wouldn't even say that they had a year
No.
that they were like the most dominant of this and the other. Now Shaq, yes, we revere Shaq as the most dominant player ever.
Oh, by far, if we had to go and say and label dominant, I think across the board in every Shaq in every era, there's nobody that can stop Shaq.
No,
Nobody.
no. Mm-mm.
Nobody can stop Shaq at all. At all. Not even Jabbar, not even the Wilt, not even Bill Russell. Them dudes would not be able to stop Shaq at all.
Yaya's back.
So, what's up, y'all? We just wrapping up our third hour.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, it always going to go back to sports. Yes, that is
yes.
part of our show. That's part of what we
Well,
talk about.
well, yeah, yeah. If you get here one of the first 2 hours, then you'll hear about some other things.
Exactly. Like you missed the whole conversation about insecure and relationships and friendships and how insecure might happen next season. You missed about B
Throwing
Simone
your team up under the bus.
throwing your team up under the bus and all that. You weren't in there
Come on.
not in the first hour.
You wasn't there in the first hour.
Not in the first hour.
She said, "No, I didn't." Yeah, you did. You were not here the first hour, Yaya.
Not the first hour, yeah. You were here for the second hour because I remember distinctly,
When
SEC
you came
word,
in.
when
When
you
you came
came
in.
in. I remember. Exactly. You came in the second hour.
Exactly. That's what we saying.
That's what that's all we saying is you came in on the second hour.
All right. So say, look, WNBA is coming back.
It is.
Look, you haven't heard one thing about them with the COVID and everything else. They're still all plans ahead.
Yeah. I think they're under a different, not a different rule. I think they just think a little differently because, this is the first year that they've had that collective bargaining agreement happen to where they're getting paid worth a damn, for the season. And it's finally gotten to a point to where they want to play. It's finally to a point to where, they feel like they're worthy. They're playing worth something. A lot of them will play over here and then they'll go overseas and play to try to make up for. Yeah. She always inviting us somewhere. Where are you? Which one? Yeah. Which shell shack are you at now?
Off of off of Knox Henderson.
Knox Henderson. Oh,
It's far.
when you leave it, yeah, that is far. You got hey, yeah, you got to give us these invites. Like,
Oh, she said Dallas. Oh,
so she probably are you McKinney
Henderson.
Henderson
Knox Henderson.
Knox Henderson? Yeah, that's what he just said. Could you say that?
She
That's
leaving
what he just
tomorrow.
said. You leaving
Just find
tomorrow?
out. Just find out you
Oh,
leaving.
yeah, she did. Yeah, yeah. Dang, yeah. That's her
Yeah.
mission trip home. Oh man.
Um.
Oh man. You going to Atlanta? You going to Atlanta? We praying that Granny gets better. Praying that Granny gets better. So the WNBA, man, they're playing. I think, they're finally playing worth something now. It's gonna be good. I think a lot of things, baseball is coming back. Um, this was the kicker for me that I saw. Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell made a comment saying that he agrees that the NFL teams should now start looking at Colin Kaepernick. And the Chargers was one of the first teams that said that Colin Kaepernick, could fit into their style of play and their system. You
You know
know,
what? You know what? Roger Goodell pulled a B Simone. He did
he pulled a
because
huge B Simone.
after his speech, after his little speech, which he did not name Kaepernick. He turns around and says, the whole statement of, yeah, like I think that Kaepernick should be back in the league, and I encourage. Hold on, I encourage teams to look to sign him, whatever. You wasn't talking about this shit like for the last 4 years. You wasn't
Come
saying
on,
none of this.
man.
But hold on. But now you throwing all the owners up under the bus,
Uh,
basically talking about yes. I said this. I said this. Back when everything was happening, and I'm saying it now. Like they should look to sign him. I encourage it. Yeah, you outsourced it.
you outsourced it. You outsourced it, and your team didn't proofread it
At all.
at all,
At all.
at all. So I almost take it as, man, as a sign of disrespect and as a slap in the face for him to even, as as my mama used to say, even for him to fix his lips, to even say, put those words together to say I encourage it. When this man Colin Kaepernick has been out of the league for the past 3-4 years, been out of the league for multiple years, and now all of a sudden, now because the climate of the world has changed, right? The climate of the world has changed. Now all of a sudden, you promote it, you agree with it, you think it's a good thing to do, right? And I also think that the statement came from this standpoint. Because of what Colin Kaepernick stands for, what better moneymaker to
Yep.
let into your league than
Uh-huh.
the guy that has not caused all this, but started the awareness of this whole thing when he took a knee? What better way for the NFL to say, you know what? We have black friends by hiring Kaepernick.
As Agent Orange said about Kanye, look at my African American friend.
Look at my African American friend. Look at him.
Like what to me, and then he backtracked and he cleaned it up because he said like if not on the team, he should be a part of the league, in some shape, form, or fashion to
Mm-hmm.
help us along with which we've been saying that shit should have happened in the first place.
In the first place, hands
First place.
down,
You
he
don't want him
should
on the
have.
team? You You don't want him on a team, cool. Have him in the front office
Exactly.
to basically help y'all.
Exactly. Like, even if, okay, fine. If you don't want him to play because for whatever reason he's making a stance and you're losing millions of dollars or whatever because he's taking his knee, fine, fine. But put him in a position in the front office in your diversity inclusion, officer or whatever. Create a position for him rather than fire him or rather than let him go and then make it this big deal. And then now all of a sudden you come back years later and say that you agree with it. No, you don't. You don't
Nah,
agree with it. There's nowhere in the world that you can sit here and say that you agree with it. You don't agree with it. You know that the climate of the world has changed from what it was then to what it is now.
who we haven't heard from throughout all this? Jay-Z.
This is what Jay-Z does. This is what Jay-Z does.
The
Jay-Z, what
real
I've learned,
the real pink starburst. Hey,
real pink starburst. What's up, real pink starburst?
pink,
What I'm
just for you. Just for you.
what I've learned about Jay-Z is this. Jay-Z is not going to be a vocal, I'm going to go to the protest. I'm not going to stand in line. I'm not going to say a whole bunch of things. I'm not going to make a statement. I'm not going to make a video or anything like that. What Jay-Z does is Jay-Z uses his wealth and his platforms to create that change. Like, he's been one of the ones that's been donating to the whole movement, to the Black Lives Matter movement. He's been one of the ones that's been paying for some of these bails for some of these looters and whatnot.
Hmm.
He's been giving money to other foundations and stuff like that that's supporting this movement and all that. So what Jay-Z does is he doesn't necessarily become vocal and get out there and say this is what should happen or this what should be done. He uses his financial voice, to get out there and make the changes that way. Which I don't think is wrong. If you got the ability to do it, to
No,
be honest, if you really want to make true change, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. We have to own more stuff.
I was about to say, look, every little bit helps.
Hmm.
But whether it was right or wrong, Jay-Z was thrown in the middle of this, because of the position that he took with the
Hmm.
NFL
Correct.
to help more with this very thing,
Correct.
to progress it and move it forward. Now, that's why I say, like, he's been solid. Now, hey, people work behind the scenes a lot. There's a lot of
Right.
things that go on, but to me, it's to me. Could he give a little statement? He can give a little
For,
statement.
you know, for the NFL portion of it, I believe he should give a small statement because
Yeah,
he is tied into the NFL, and we need him to be tied into the NFL
yeah.
because he can help usher in this, new culture, this new diversity thing of getting more black owners owning football teams, getting more black owners just owning basketball teams, baseball teams, or whatever. But if there was nobody that was able to even get in there, then there would be nobody to start the iceberg effect. But we
True.
have to have somebody that can get in there and at least start the whole positioning of, getting African Americans in there to start owning these spots and getting these spots. So I agree with what you're saying. He should have some sort of statement, especially on the Colin Kaepernick thing. I think he definitely should say something about that because of his ties to the NFL.
But even if it's just, I want to say piggybacking off of Goodell and saying, like, we're looking into certain options on, bringing Kaepernick into the fold, with the like, even if it's with the department that, that I'm over, or this, that, and
Right.
the third, because like he said, was better than one millionaire. Two.
Too.
So what it's like basically in the front office, you would have not only one black mind,
Mm-hmm.
now you would have two,
Mm-hmm.
and one that they're definitely gonna listen. They're gonna treat Kaepernick a certain way because now Kaepernick is the face, basically the face of "I told you so."
If I told you so was a person,
Yep,
if I told you so was a person, his name is Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick.
If I told you so was a person, his name is Colin Kaepernick, and it is probably the biggest "I told you so" in history. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, hands down in history. There are so many NFL players now that are coming out and that are saying, "Well, now I understand what he was kneeling for." He had been trying to tell you. He
Yeah,
had been trying to tell you.
he told
You
you off the
know,
bat.
he told you off the bat. Y'all just didn't want to listen to it. But he
Mm-mm.
had been trying to tell you why he
Yeah,
was kneeling. He had been trying to tell you his whole reasoning for what he was doing, and y'all didn't want to listen.
no. All right, so we got about a minute and a half or whatever left.
All right.
So you want to tell the people where they can find us, what we
Man,
got coming up.
absolutely. Absolutely. So for everybody that's joined, everybody that has joined, make sure that y'all join us. Follow us on midweek_vibe on Instagram. You'll be able to catch the replays of tonight's show on YouTube. Just type in midweek vibe on YouTube. Make sure you follow both of us, the Real Cobain and Draper Winston. We're here every Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. Sometimes we go to 9. It just depends, you know. So if there's anything that you want us to talk about, we talk about it all. We talk about it all. We support black businesses. So again, if you got black businesses that you need highlighted or you want highlighted, make sure you send us a DM. Then make sure we highlight them and we push that out.
Listen,
Anything I missed?
put your black business on there because I'm going more black.
Yeah, we try to buy black. We
I'm
buying
going more
black.
black. So if it's restaurants, stores, wineries, whatever,
All of it.
put it in there. I'm coming. I'm coming to visit.
We coming.
We
We
matter of
coming.
fact, we will broadcast from your
Yes.
location.
Yes. Yes. We will. We will. We will go live straight from your location. You throw it to us where you at, your restaurant, whatever. Man, we want to make sure that we support black businesses. So, man, we'll be right back here next week at 6
Yeah,
o'clock.
six
Shout out to
o'clock.
everybody that jumped on. Man, we're getting better and better. This is episode 10, y'all. This is episode 10.
10.
Wow, episode 10. So we're gonna keep this thing moving, y'all. We're gonna keep this thing growing. So again, appreciate it to everybody that joined us tonight.
All right. See y'all next
All
week.
right, see y'all next week.